Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to work on the Lapbook, the Forest Lapbook Stamperia pad. And we are going to have a little sneaky peek. It's me doing a little retail therapy. I went, I went to Michael's the other day and just wanted to walk around and look. I had a $5 voucher and things are, I got a few things at a good price and a few things at a regular price. But I had been needing some more texture paste. And this is the opaque kind where it's sort of see-through. It's a little milky when it goes down, and you can like colorize it. And actually it'll pick up whatever color is on the base. Like if I had a base that was covered with this vintage photo, it would suck in that color and take it up into itself. So you can colorize it in different ways. You can rub some glossy or some, some metallic luster over it. I couldn't remember the name of it. You can maybe use your dauber and ink it, do a little distress paint on it, whatever you might want to do. Some people take their roller and roll over it sometimes. And then I wanted a crackle paste. It's also opaque, but it crackles. And I had been wanting to get some more of this. I didn't have any. And so I have it now. I do need and want to get that black texture paste again. It's all year long. It's not just for Halloween. So I want to get it. I've seen a lot of people using it. Now they had new sections and they had different things in different aisles. I went down to get a glue stick. Couldn't really find one. Not a nice big one that I wanted. I may have to order some online because I want the big chunky one that lasts a while. Anyhow, so I saw this and I thought, with the Christmas coming up that I'm going to do, the Nutcracker, this might make some cool backgrounds or heat embossed reliefs or something like that. It doesn't really have a name. It just got 768-291, but it's new. It's not been there but a couple months, so I know it's still around and should be coming to your Michael's if it's not there. And I really like this. I have a stencil and I have something else with the brick. And I didn't have a stamp, I don't believe. So I got this stamp and I thought, that I really like the distressy look to it. And it really looks realistic as well. So I got that. I really kind of fell in love with that. All right. So, as you remember me leaving off the other day, I showed you how to make your base design of your lap book. It's going to be however you want to make it, though, because you can actually take and put this piece on top of here and make it like one big solid cover like I did for that one steampunk journal. And I had the butterfly and it met right in the middle. And then you could do it that way. You can also do 2 flips instead of the way I've got it. Now, I think I've rethought this one because I watched my little lady that did the Forest Lapbook before, a couple years back or a year ago. And she actually had this one kind of in half. And I'm really thinking about doing it that way now, but I'll have to show you that as we get to it. Maybe we'll work on that today. And then I've got this over here just waiting to go down. I just have to get a background on this and something on that. And maybe that's the 2 panels that we'll get into today. And I have all my fussy cuts and pieces and parts in here that we'll have to like do some more decorating with. And then I've got all those extra pages back here. I do, oh gosh, I do think I was going to put the fish over here, to tell you the truth. So maybe that idea of folding that up is not going to work. Yeah, because I wanted to come put my fish there. I don't really have anywhere else that they could go. You know, we might just switch this around. It doesn't have to be like this. Let's just do it. Like I told you I'd done with the butterfly. Let's see. See, I need that part because that's got all the color around the edges. Is that going to work for me? And then it's going to go from that end to that end. Well, I don't know. It might. It's going to be cutting my. It's going to be cutting my fish. Oh, all right. Well, we are going to actually stick with what I was going to do. I really thank you for coming to visit, and I hope I'm not confusing you. I'm kind of out of day, Mom. She's still in the hospital, not at the rehab place, and we are having other issues with her now. She had her surgery. It came through pretty good. I haven't heard her, moaning or hurting when people move her. So now she has other issues, and her sugar dropped last night, and I guess they couldn't get it back up. So now she's in ICU. So it just is, when it rains, it pours. So it just seemed to be going on and on. So my sister and brother are in there now. So I'll go for my later shift where I'll be with her. And I left about after, I think it was 6:30 last night. Because I was real tired because I was there the night before when they moved her to the hospital for the surgery. And I stayed in there till like after 10. And I was just beat. I had to sleep in. So I didn't stay as late yesterday. And I fell asleep last night about midnight, which is odd for me. Okay, well, I'm trying to debate whether I want this green down here or not. It doesn't really have anything to do with it. I like this little buggy area up here and the little foresty scene. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of take just the least little bit of that, and I'm going to mark it just about like that and bring our cutter up. Oh, and I need to go across as well. And then I'm going to have to take this piece off and kind of do some more with it. We're going to have to balance out. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to see that one. Balance out this little cut area here and trace around it. So we'll be getting that accomplished. I'm going to go ahead and cut this whole strip down, because then it'll be on the same level on both sides. This can be used for something else. It could be used for, oh look, it's green on both sides. Be used for something later on. Oh, and when you know it, I just cut my mark. So let me get this in here, and we'll figure out where the mark is, right there. Let me put it all the way down where it's even. Okay, can you see? I think you can. So I'm lining it up to that mark that I made on the bottom. And we're going to take that part off and come up through here. Now see where I'm cutting across the fish? I don't think that's going to be an issue because they're going to match up. I'll have them matching up on the other side. Okay, this gets cut as well. Trying to get it straight. And see, maybe I'll just go ahead and keep cutting that, because That's, yeah, let me just go ahead and cut it. And it's got like a pretty blue. Now, if you don't use this in this journal or Lapbook, you can always save it. There's a few pieces that I'm not going to be using. I may use them in a paper bag journal. So we have that. Okay, now the other one over here, let's go ahead and get it cut. Maybe we'll work on this side. I don't know. We'll just do what we can do, and then I have to get on the road. Okay, this one goes all the way out to here, basically, I think. And then down here, it kind of, I think it's about right there. So we're going to have to figure this one out. It's kind of on the weird side. All right, so I've got that. And I'm going to be missing his tail in a way, won't I? Let's see. Yep, that poor little catfish is going to be losing some body parts. Alright, I'm not exactly sure where that needs to go, so let me just cut it right there. Yeah, that's all this is going to be now, is us forming these papers to our base. And, like, this is what I'll need to do to get this one to be on the money. I have to kind of lay this one on top and sort of trace. And I can go down a little bit. Match it up. And then I'm going to kind of just trace along the top where I want to cut it. And then shape it to the tab. There we go. And then I can always round that on the bottom. Let's see what we get after I do this part. It's kind of like you got to do a little bit like this step and then that step. Some of you don't like twiddly, diddly twiddly things. I'm good with them. I enjoy some kind of, you know, something like a puzzle. I like to put a puzzle together. And that's kind of what this is going to be. Any little pieces and parts can go over this way. All right. So what have I got now? I want it to be inset where I can see a little bit of that all the way around. So I've got a little bit more here to do. So I need to cut in, and I'm going to use my little... Now you could lay that back over top of this to cut that extra little area out, but I'm going to freelance it and see what we get. Okay. See if I cut that in far enough. I think it did. Okay. And I'm okay with this being flush over here. Oh, look, I didn't go all the way down, did I? I cut that little bit off. Maybe I wanted to go down a little further. Who knows? Okay. So. Okay. We got to get in here and cut out a little bit more. It just... And then I brought in that piece I snipped off. I shouldn't have cut that off. Because that's where that extra length came from at the base. I was trying to save this little guy's tail, but there's not going to be a way to do it. Now, I turned the TV on when I got home last night, and didn't realize Poltergeist was on, the original Poltergeist, that older one. Oh, I missed it. It was already almost all the way off before I got here. And it would be one of the ones I would like to see for Halloween. If anybody's seen the original, I think there's newer ones out. There was something going around about there being a curse or something with all the people that were in the movie, and they were all dying. I think the little girl died that got Carol Ann. I think her name was Carol Ann. And I think she got killed, and somebody else got killed that was in the movie. So, I don't know. It's just some weird stuff going on. Now, I went ahead and rounded it off down there. And then we're going to put this piece up here and glue that down, and then we'll have it. So, okay. Let me go ahead and start gluing. So, yeah, I missed one of the goodies. So, I'll have to get on there and watch. There is the Spooktacular channel that you can actually get on there, and it will tell you what's playing. But they're always the same things. Freddy, Halloween, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't even know how many Halloweens there are now with Michael Myers. Oh my God. And I know they finally had the last one, didn't they? And poor old Jamie Lee Curtis, she came back for that. Played in there. Oh my gosh. But yeah, they had Saw. Not a fan of Saw. Don't like any of that body, chopping apart stuff. Oh, no. No, thank you. And then, Jeepers Creepers. Let's not forget Jeepers Creepers now. But yeah, I mean, none of the old... I mean, I've seen something about Wolf or Wolfen. Now, Wolfen, I remember getting that book back in elementary school or something. And I read it. And I was about the same time that I got some other Stephen King things. What is that? Salem's Lot. Yes. That was about the same time I got the book of Salem's Lot and read it about the vampires. And there was a series on TV. Now, why can't they do that? I did see Silver Bullet on TV a couple times advertised. And that's that one with that little Corey Haim. And he was the little boy in a wheelchair. And he was crippled. And there was a guy that was a werewolf in town. Okay, now this one I did not get all the way up to the edge with the ink. So let's ink that up a little bit and have that covered. But see, when you go and pre-ink it, you've got a nice little edge. Like I didn't get all the way over to there either. Okay. There we go. Now, this part needs to be covered as well. And at the moment, I have no clue what I wanted there. So I'm just going to put this back on here and let her ride. Now, I will take a piece. I had a little bit left over on one of these. I think it was this one. To put on this little tiny spine here. I had meant to do the fish and didn't do it. Oh, that's that one. Was there another side? Was this it? I can't remember. No, that's the top. I'm kind of wondering, I might do that. I'm kind of wondering if I shouldn't just grab this little strip right there. So the fish is like a continuation, if you know what I mean. So let's do that. I hope this isn't too boring. It's just me kind of piddling around and thinking of movies to tell you about. That kind of thing. But I was encouraging some of you to try to do one of these little lap books. I mean, I've never done one before, so I just kind of got something figured out. This file folder, I think, is the easiest version when you're starting out because the width is already there. You're just adding the extra width so it like closes all the way in. If you didn't want it to close all the way in, you didn't have to put those extra parts in there. But you can add your different things for the wings and the what do you call that? Waterfalls. A lot of times there are waterfalls in the lap books, and they add a lot to it. Any kind of interactive piece, you can do like flip outs. I was thinking there was something with a flip out that I was wanting to do because I wanted the whole scene, and I'll have to figure that out on the next session because we're just going to play with the fish today and maybe the panel under it. Okay, so this little tiny guy is going to go right here on this strip. Now this is that little hard strip that I put in to help support the spine and keep it up and firm enough to keep the fold in. That was basically what its job was. Oh, whoop. The fish was a little off. Okay, I had to move him up. Okay. Now I may have to trim a little bit off the top in that case. But I wanted to line the fish up definitely. I got a little tiny bit right there, but not much. That would work. Okay. And always remember, your barely arts, you can still move it a little bit. It's not quite all the way dry yet. Especially if you put a nice little wet bead like I did down. When it's thicker like that, it takes a little bit longer to dry. So you got a little bit more wiggle time. And you saw I was able to wiggle a little bit of that back in there. Okay. The next piece we have is this one. And we're going to have to take a little bit of this one and put in here, or we could just go in with a little bit of our green. Let's do that. Which one looks better? I mean, I've got all this mess and that mess that will be together, but I kind of like having that little bit of green there. So we'll have to figure out where that needs to be trimmed and cut off. I need to put this down first though. And we got to make sure our edges, I need to buy a new blade for my cutter. So I'm all like doing a double take on it of trimming. Let's see. So that goes there. This is going to go here. I want to line it up exactly. Oh, yeah. He's lined up perfectly with this bunch. And then I have a little bit down there at the bottom to take care of. So I think that's right on the money. Now I'm going to have to put this over top of there and see if I can, I think it was about right there, and get that cut. What did I do with my pencil? Oh, my pencil ran away. Okay, let's make sure I'm straight. So has anybody else seen good stuff to watch lately? I'm always behind the times. But like I said, this has not been a good year for Halloween. For some reason. I'm just not seeing anything that I haven't already seen 100,000 times. If nothing else, they could have brought the ghost hunters back for me to go in some spooky place. They got some, what is her name, Retta? They got some lady now that's going around to places, and either there's a scary, but it's real funny. I mean, I think it's more hilarious than it's supposed to be scary. But she goes around to all these different places, and they've either got a creature or they've got a, what would you call it? I got a little bit more trim into there, dude. A house. I thought she was doing the houses, the scary houses of America. But nope, she had something about the lizard man last night. I don't know. It was on Mom's TV before I left. And, but yeah, she's on there making funny faces and things like that, and blowing her eyes up when somebody talks about something spooky. She's making too much out of it. It's more of a joke than it is anything. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down, because then it's going to help me figure out where that strip is going to go in at. At least I've got my usual shows like Elspeth, Matlock. I always loved Matlock because, I love all those figuring it out kind of things with the, like, Law and Order. That's a little more serious. Matlock with Andy Griffith, he was always good. He was always kind of acting like a little simpleton guy, and he figured stuff out and caught them in their own lies all the time. It was great. And then I like anything like that. Now this Matlock, she's a little different, but it's really good. I really enjoyed watching that, and the new season has come back. Okay, let me go ahead and rub all these areas down. And now I get to come in, and it looks like it's only like 1/4 of an inch. So let's go ahead and get our cutter up here and put that, I'm guessing, so I'm putting it right there and lining up my lines. That's the other thing I use. If I'm cutting and I don't know if I'm straight or not, I'm going to like watch the lines and make that help. Now, if you're wondering why the 3 has a marker on there, marker line, that's to help you in case you have like an envelope or something you're trying to match up 2 of the things. You can put it here and you can put it there, and the line helps you figure out where it is without going blind. You know how it is with, if you see anybody wearing like a striped shirt or something along those lines, that, those lines will drive you batty. Okay. I am not exactly sure where I want this to go, so I'm going to just kind of guess and do that. And then the easiest part is you can always see it shining if it's on a darker surface. Okay, let's see how that looks. And it's a little off, isn't it, down there? Okay, so I have a little bit. Oh, I got it that way, didn't I? I have a little bit of that, which, let me see. Maybe I need to hold it this way. I need to go out and then swing in. Okay. Oh, where did it pop? There it is. Let's see if that helps. You don't have to be a perfectionist. I'm just, yeah, that'll help my eye. My eye cannot stand to see that little bit of white that's kind of out of. I'm not OCD. I swear I'm not. I haven't been tested. I have not been tested, so I don't know for sure. But I just like, it's easier on my eye. Let's put it that way. My eye sees it a certain way. I don't know if all you artist ladies out there and gentlemen, sorry, Wayne, are like that, but if you see something a certain way, you want to recreate it that way, right? So that's kind of what I am. I see it and I want to recreate it a certain way, the way I think it should be shaped. And like, maybe that needs to move up a little bit, maybe. I have a little point there, and I think I'm going to live with it. Yeah, I'm going to live with it. Because it's better than it was before. All right, so this part goes here, but I have a flip that happens. So now something has to go on the back part of the flip. Okay, here are my other papers that I have to work with. And if you recall, I have a squirrel here. And I think there is, what's on the other side? There's something. Oh, the little hedgehog. So it's more of a foresty look in here. Now I have these leaves that kind of go with that. I wanted something more visual, or, you know, something with a subject or a topic, or, you know, that kind of background is kind of interesting. Well, this is going to be on the back here, but I still need something on the back of there as well. So, see, that really doesn't have anything. So it's going to be that. Now, this little guy here goes on the back cover, but I have this forest trees. Well, if I moved that down, I could get most of the tree there, the word, and possibly the deer. So that's kind of interesting, because he's going to just be on this side for the back. So he's a possibility. What's on the other side? Oh, yeah. So there's not really anything back there. We have the bird, which I kind of have wondered about cutting. I don't know. He's kind of big, though, isn't he? I thought maybe I could tuck him in a pocket, but I may have to cut him down more if I want to put him anywhere. I really love this background here because of this tree line and the mountains. It's kind of like the way we see them, and I guess that's a pond. I really love that, so maybe using that. And this, I love this little strip, and I figured to use this little strip like on one of these sides, either the front side or this back side, because I can cut it off right there. You can see the leaves, the birds. Yeah. So maybe I'll leave the bird images for over here. And then on the back side of this is more that green with a little fox and stuff. And then there's that. So I don't know. I may use this here. And I'll still be able to get my little bird somewhere. And then I'll have this little strip. So I've got an idea for that one. All right. I'm narrowing down what I've got choices of here. So that was the one that I thought would be the best over here for the background there. But I still need to do something for the flip part. Maybe this part with the eagles and the birds. And then I'll have maybe this little area here I can use somewhere. I don't know. I'm still winging it, yo. I'm still winging it. Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to maybe just go ahead and have him like about right there. Instead of using this side, I'd rather have the flying bird. I think that'll be much better. And as you know, it's a flip up. So you're flipping it up. So it's up in the air like it's in the sky. That's where my thought process is going. So we are just going to kind of cut it inward a little bit. So we've got his wing in here properly. We're going to trim it here. So it's just got that little bit of frame around it, you know, like a, that's why I inked everything. And then we're going to go down to this portion right here. Is that going to leave me? Well, I've got this area over here with the little mountains and the pond and everything, so it is what it is. Now, you can order these things where you get only one-sided. And I should have done that, but I didn't. Then you have, you know, even more to use. Now, we're going to go ahead and cut this right here. And I think it's down to this point. And then we have this portion to trim down to the same area. I think it's about right there. And then you're going to come across that little mark right there. Okay. Oh, I went too far. I'm supposed to stop right there. Okay. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah, I'm only going to have that little bit, but I'll make it work somehow. I always do. Okay, and this was going to be back here, so let's go ahead and get this one ready to be placed. So I'm going to mark it right there, but I also want it to be started about right here, and I think that's going to go over that flap, so I can sort of cover the flap with that. Now I'm going to also, yeah, okay, I'm going to also put a mark there. All right, so let me get that back up here and cut again, and then I'll have those portions already cut. Now I need to come down first, because that mark is going to get cut off when I come across, I think. Okay, anyhow, let's go ahead, mark there, come all the way down to here. I hate that I don't have the ferns in there, but that's okay. I may have a fern stamp or something like that to add, you know, to my look here. Now this is going to get cut straight across like that. Am I over there yet? No, right there. I didn't go all the way down. That's the only problem. So let's get that snipped. And our little fox, he's big enough to go on the back. And then I want to trim right here, because I wanted the root of this tree, as you see, I wanted the forest, I wanted the deer. So I wanted all of that in this scene. Now the thing is, I need to finish the little pocket guy here and secure this one before I put this down at the back. And you'll see why. Oh, I still had another paper at the back here. Okay. I always liked that one, but I never really had figured out what I wanted to do with it. Now, it's got all the little critters on it, you see. So at one point, I thought, well, maybe I could do like a little, kind of like a Z fold, where it would unfold out and you could see all of that. Now this little side here is sort of the forest side. This over here was like the fishy side, where it's like half and half, because this is on the top fish and on the bottom forest. But yeah, so that's sort of the way I'm going here. All right, so this piece here needs to get glued down to the back side. And see, I've got this flap. And these flaps, there's a flap under here. There's a flap here. Those are what I'm going to try to get around. And I'm going to try to use this piece over here we cut to cover those two flaps up a bit, so it kind of flows better to me. All right, I'm just kind of trimming off any little hair projections that's there. This has to have a little bit cut off at the top, and you know how we're doing that by putting this in here and kind of guesstimating where it needs to be trimmed. Okay. And I missed these wings, so that is excellent. I'm thinking I needed to round off this upper corner as well. Now, I haven't been inking these because I inked around the outsides of those, and I didn't think that it was needed. Sorry, Phyllis. But we did a lot of inking in that first one. Oh, no, that's right. You told me I didn't do enough inking. That's right. Oh, well. Now, you do one of these, and you can do all the inking you want, girl. Oh. All right. Okay. I think that's as good as I can get it. Okay, sort of right there. All right, let me get my glue back out. Oh, all right. And I just kind of swirl and smear as much as I can here on top. Let's pull that down just a tad. And we'll get in here and figure out where we want that to land. I think right there's good. Oh, I got a little bit. Oops. Trying to make it move over a little bit, but oh well. It's fine where it is. Okay. So we got that. We need to get this little portion here done. So we need to put him on the front. Little squirrel guy. But yeah, I've still got the Shining on hold. It's in my little storage for my spooky movies. I've got the Bird still, but I watched that last year, and you know, I either want to see an oldie that I've seen way in the past, or I just want to, you know, to refresh myself. Because sometimes we need that, right? We would like to refresh our memories. Oh, wait a minute. That way. Okay, had to get him on there right. Yeah, I like to refresh my memories on some of these older movies that I've seen. And, you know, you always like something nostalgic, so you'd like to see something that made an impression on you way back. Now, you know, I can tell you, Salem's Lot made an impression on me with that little dude scratching on his friend's window 2 stories up with these little vampire fingernails. Oh my God. That was something else. Okay, so we're putting this down on this bottom flap, or this bottom area. Okay, let me move this in where you can see a little better. So I'm just kind of judging. I smeared the glue almost all over. But anyhow, I'm just kind of centering it between having a little bit of a gap there and a little bit of a gap there. Okay, I got to move him back down to the bottom because he moved on me. There. And then you can get in here and kind of press in with a bone folder, and that helps secure things a whole lot better. Now, I do want to open it. You always want to make sure there's no seepage, because if there is, it's going to glue it, and you don't want that to happen. All right. Next step is this flap for the upper portion. Now, I had thought to put a magnet in here. Of course, I forgot, but I don't know if I need it. I mean, I've got the tabs, which help. And let's see if I can just get this down, and then I'll push it. Yeah, I'll push it up and get it where I need it to be. I'm trying to match it up with the bottom guy here. Looks like it's about right. Okay, then we're going to push that in a few times. And then go in here and push this in. All right. Now, all right, so that part, as you can see, is done. And now we're going in with this one. It's still got the little hairs coming out of it. And we're going to go over top. And you can see what I was trying to get at. I want to hide the flaps as best that I can. So I'm thinking that will do the trick. So, yeah. All right. I like this birch background too, but oh well. And I'm still having, you know, flashbacks of Halloween. I would like to do some more Halloween things, but that ain't going to happen anytime soon. Like I mentioned, I'm going to do a little bit each week or something to build up my stock of goodies. I'll have a little basket. I'll either make little tickets, little tabs, little clusters, things to go in a book, like journal cards, that kind of stuff. Okay, I think this is where I'm going to have to stop, because I saw a message. My brother was trying to contact me, so I have to get ready to go down and see what's what. So, all right, let us see what we did today. So, we finished this side and got the little spine with its own, God, what is that? With its own little cover on it. And we still have to cover this side, and then this can get glued down. It'll just get glued here, here, and here. And then that's a tuck. This also needs to get covered, so I may not glue it down until I've got my little shape trimmed out onto the paper that I need to put there. So we have our fish, and he's lining up pretty nicely. I should have went over a little further, but that's okay. And then I don't know that I'll do anything else here. It may be I create some kind of a tuck, triangular little tuck area there that I can like tuck something into. And then the little fish is not going to be covered up because it'll be like right here. And then I can tuck another item in there. Now this part, it's pretty heavy. I don't think I would need to put a magnet here. The only problem is when you go and, you know, open it and flip it around and everything. That might be where, you know, the securing comes in. But then you have, when you open it up, you got the eagle flying, which is pretty cool. Down in here, there's not much to it. So I don't know that I might go back in with that. Where is it? The scene, the pond scene. And try to cut that, you know. and have that as his base. Yeah, and then I would work it into the trees that are there. So that will probably be what I do there, because I'm not that crazy about that part. We can work on that the next trip, next session too. Okay, and then you got the little hedgehog guy down here, the forest and the trees. So everything's tree related here. And then you got your little squirrel out there. So I don't know. I may find some kind of a closure idea. I've also got the little clear Velcro strips, circles. So they're probably going to come into being what I use a lot in here. And then, like I said, we got that little guy to work on probably the next time. So we got, and then we'll have the cover to do. So it's another 2 or 3 videos at least. And we'll just take our time with it and have fun. So I hope everybody has a great, great day. Everybody, all my subscribers and viewers, I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Everybody give yourself a pat on the back, because you keep me floating. All right. Well, I will try to let you know the next video how things are going with Mom, and we'll chat again about some more Halloween movies. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.